Welcome back. So, in our last few explainers, we really dug into the how of auditing, the planning, the execution, all of it. Now, we're shifting gears to tackle the what. What are the actual standards we're auditing against? We're diving headfirst into the world of cGMP regulations and the absolutely crucial role of a company's internal police force, the Quality Assurance Department.
Think about it for a second. It's a pretty simple question, but the answer is, well, a matter of life and death. How do you know, for sure, that the tablet you take today is just as safe, just as pure, just as effective as the one made a year ago, or the one that's going to be made next week? The answer lies in this powerful set of rules we're about to unpack. So, you've probably all heard the term GMP, right? Good manufacturing practice. It's pretty much the bedrock of pharmaceutical quality. But there's one little letter, a letter that most people just glance over, that completely transforms this from a static rulebook into a living, breathing standard.
Okay, so here's the textbook definition. At its heart, GMP is the entire system that a company builds to guarantee that every single batch is the same as the last. And I mean everything. It's not just about testing the final pill, it's about the quality of the raw materials coming in the door, the design of the building, the maintenance of the equipment, and maybe most importantly, the training and hygiene of the people.
And here it is, the letter C. This little guy stands for current. And believe me, this isn't just a minor detail. It's a massive legal distinction. It means that the rules are always evolving. What was considered top-of-the-line practice back in the 90s could be a major compliance problem today. The standards are expected to keep up with technology and our understanding of quality. Now, this has a huge, huge implication for you as an auditor. Your job isn't to pull out some dusty old textbook and just check off boxes. No way. You are there to evaluate that company against today's standards, against modern technology. So, for instance, if a company is still using handwritten paper records for a critical process where automated, secure electronic systems are now the industry norm, well, they're failing to be current, even if the rulebook hasn't been officially rewritten yet. And these 10 rules? These are basically the 10 commandments of cGMP. They cover the whole shebang, from how the building is designed to making sure you audit yourself regularly. But look closely. Notice the pattern? Write good procedures. Then follow those procedures. Record your work. Validate your processes. It's all about proving that your systems work as intended and creating a bulletproof, traceable record of every single thing you do. As an auditor, every one of these is a goldmine for investigation. Okay, so we've got the rules, the what, but who actually makes sure these rules are followed? This brings us to the company's internal quality police. And to really get it, you have to understand the difference between two key functions: planning for success versus testing for failure. This slide just nails it. Think of it this way. Quality control, or QC, is the tester. They're reactive. They stand at the end of the production line and test the finished product. Did we get the pH right? Is it sterile? If not, they reject the batch. But quality assurance, QA, is the planner. They are proactive. Their job is to design the entire system, the training, the procedures, the validations, to make sure the product is made right the first time, so that QC hopefully doesn't find any failures. QC catches mistakes, QA tries to prevent them from ever happening. So, QA's job is huge, from managing every document to investigating when things go wrong. But let's zoom in on one of the most critical roles: change control. You have to think of QA as the ultimate gatekeeper. Absolutely nothing in that factory can be changed, not a piece of software, not a new supplier for a raw material, not even a tiny tweak to a procedure, without QA formally reviewing and approving it. This prevents some well-meaning engineer from making an improvement that accidentally destroys the quality of the product. Now, modern regulators, like the FDA, have gotten smarter over the years. They've moved away from just auditing one department at a time in a neat little silo. Instead, they use this holistic approach called the six-system inspection model. The idea is simple but powerful. A failure in one area is almost always a symptom of a deeper weakness in the entire interconnected system. And right at the very center of this model, the absolute hub of the wheel, is the quality system itself. You can think of it as the brain or the central nervous system of the entire operation. It's the management system, run by QA, that's supposed to connect, monitor, and control everything else. If this hub is broken, the whole factory is at risk. It's that simple. The other 5 systems are what you'd probably think of as the traditional departments, right? Production, the lab, maintenance, and so on. But here's the key takeaway. They are all interconnected
through that central quality system. So a problem in the lab isn't just a lab problem. It's a potential failure of the quality system that is supposed to be overseeing and controlling how the lab operates. It's a total shift in perspective.
So what does this mean for you, the auditor? It means you don't just audit a product, you audit the systems that created it. To truly understand a simple tablet in your hand, you have to look upstream. You have to check the maintenance records for the machine that pressed it, the quality certificates for the raw materials that went into it, and, crucially, the QA procedure that allowed it to be released in the first place.
You know, in the old days, if something went wrong, the blame might fall on some operator on the production line. Not anymore. Under this modern quality systems approach, the ultimate legal, ethical, and professional responsibility for quality lands squarely on the shoulders of senior management. The buck stops at the top, period.
Okay, so here's a real-world question for you. As an auditor, how do you actually check this? It's really easy for a CEO to put up a poster that says quality is job one, but how do you find cold hard proof that they actually mean it and it's not just a nice slogan?
The answer is surprisingly simple. You ask for the minutes of their management review meeting. This is the official documented meeting where the top brass are required to sit down and look at the hard data on quality. Complaint trends, investigation reports, internal audit findings. If this meeting isn't happening or if they're not talking about the tough issues, then management can't claim to be committed. And more importantly, they can't claim they were ignorant of the problems.
Of course, a commitment on paper doesn't mean a thing without action. And management's most tangible, most important contribution to quality is providing adequate resources. If you starve a quality system of people, of good facilities, or of the right equipment, you're just setting it up to fail.
A single number like this can tell you an entire story. If you find out a company has an annual staff turnover of 30%, wow, that is a massive red flag. It might mean they're underpaid, overworked, or poorly managed. But from a quality perspective, it means that priceless institutional memory is walking out the door every single year, which makes it way more likely that the same mistakes will happen over and over again.
So when you're auditing resources, you look for very specific things. Are there enough qualified people to do the job without being rushed? Is the facility designed logically to prevent a horrible mix-up between two different products? Is the equipment actually easy to clean, or does it have nasty little hidden crevices that could hide contaminants? Every one of these things directly impacts patient safety.
All right, pop quiz. Let's put this all together with a real-world scenario. A batch of tablets is made, tested, and shipped out the door. 2 weeks later, a lab tech has that sinking feeling in their stomach. They realize the instrument they used for a critical test, the disintegration tester, was actually out of calibration on the day of the test. So, which of our 6 systems failed? Well, the obvious answer is the laboratory control system, right? I mean, that's where the broken instrument was. But the bigger, and I mean much bigger, failure here was in the quality system. It was QA's job as the gatekeeper to review all that data and catch that calibration error before that batch ever left the building. And that really brings us to the core of your job as an auditor. The QA department is supposed to be the company's internal police force. But let's be real, they're under huge pressure to release products and meet deadlines. Your job is to go in and verify that their authority, their police power, is real, that it's respected and effective, and not just some nice-looking chart they show to visitors. You're there to make sure the protectors are actually being allowed to protect.